know what? As the spirit moves you, so shall you be moved, right? So this morning I was gonna talk about the fact that you should cry. A lot of times you think, oh, you need to be strong. It's so funny. I remember even childbirth, my mom told me that after I had my son. She's like, don't cry, you should be strong. But not really understanding that you have emotions built up inside of you that you have to let go of, or you have to release, or even just moving energy around. So crying is so many times seen as a weakness or a fear or something that you shouldn't do. Men are taught not to cry. A lot of women learn not to cry because they're trying to cover over the pain that's inside, but you can't really skip that process. It doesn't allow for healing. Like when you have a wound, you have to dig the pus out. You have to clean it out. Sometimes you'll put peroxide on it and it'll bubble up and then it'll dry itself out. Well, that is the same thing with your feelings and emotions, that you shouldn't be ashamed to cry. Sometimes you'll cry and it's not because you're necessarily in pain or that it's hard to explain. Crying doesn't always mean what you think it means. Sometimes you're crying just to move the energy about and just to release things. But some things require tears and some things require fire. Some things require water or fire. So when it comes to your emotions, you shouldn't have to be afraid to express them. Maybe you don't want to express them with people you don't trust. And I know this too. I've seen in some cases where okay, we're back. Where you talk about your pain to someone and then they throw it in your face at a later time. So you definitely want to be careful and move to at least in your own quiet place. I think I need to put this on do not disturb or something. I don't even know how to do that. But at least be in your own quiet place so that you can let it out. And then maybe as you're releasing it, try to understand it, what it is. And I think maybe that's a huge thing too, because we don't really understand why exactly we're crying. I am a crier. I've been crying a long time, and my mom used to, call me a crybaby, literally. But I reserve my rights to my own feelings, and that I own them, they're mine, and I can express them. So I've moved beyond that, where I don't allow other people to tell me, that it's wrong action for me to cry and let my own feelings out. And sometimes I'm so happy that I cry. Sometimes I might pass through or by a person and feel their energy. I'm gonna tell you this. One day I had a exercise on the computer. We were on a Zoom, and it was a gazing exercise, and everything was fine. And all of a sudden, I felt like the tears shoot out of my eyes. They were like bullets, and they were just shooting out. And I had no reason during this exercise to be sad. And after our 7 minutes of silence, we were able to talk, and the woman told me that how she felt about herself by allowing me to gaze at her. She felt so much pain because she was a person who didn't even have mirrors in her house. She didn't have mirrors in her house because she looked so much like her mother, and she hated her mother's face, so she hated her own face, so she didn't like to look in mirrors. And so the idea of her being vulnerable with me and allowing me to connect with her and look in her eyes, she felt this pain and she started crying. So because I couldn't tell whether I was making her cry? Was I crying because she was crying? And so after discussing it, I understood that this wasn't even my pain at all. And then I understood the true meaning of what it is to be an empath, to be empathic. And yes, you do need to protect your energy, but then also this is still a superpower for you, because now if you can separate your emotions from other people's emotions, now you know, oh, this isn't mine, this is theirs. And you can, understand people better, what they're feeling, what they're thinking. And so that exercise taught me about being empathic as well. And I had to go back and think of all those times where I was at work and I would think people were such blockheads because I could see, like, this woman, Kathy, I could see the way she was holding her shoulder and the way that she was squinting her eye. I'd be like, Kathy, is your shoulder hurting? Are you in pain? Then now I'm starting to think maybe some of the pain I was feeling at work was literally from other people and not me physically. But I could tell when people had headaches. I could tell when people had back pain, shoulder pain. I could see when people were limping. I just thought everybody around me was not observant or something. But, God allows you to see things differently. But, that superpower is your empathy, your ability to understand how other people feel. And you wonder why starseeds have to be empaths, like an unfeeling starseed or an unfeeling healer. How does that work? How do you help other people observe and heal their emotions when you're not experiencing them yourself? That's a pretty interesting thing. I know it's important, like, protect yourself. I know it's important to be able to analyze, they say, self-talk or self-evaluation, observing your emotions and where they're coming from. So like I said before, sometimes it's because you're so happy. Sometimes it's other people's emotions. Sometimes it's a disappointment and it's going to make you cry. But this is a part of your process, the part of releasing it so that it can heal at a further date. You don't have to be afraid to cry. I've come to the point where for years now I've said that even crying is my superpower. That's my gift to the world, because my heart goes out to the world, that I'm able to shed tears for people who can't, maybe. So don't be afraid to cry. Express yourself. Literally go through the channels of your emotions. I'm going to go ahead and do the part 2 while we're here. And then I'm also going to pull a card. So interesting that my sister from downstairs, you saw her, she was sweeping up the dust on this roof that's made of gravel. A long time ago, a friend of mine, I was complaining about where I lived, and I was not happy with my situation. I was living with my parents, and they had ripped up all the tiles off the floor, and things were in this state of in-betweenness. And oh my gosh, my dad has a horrible habit back then of flipping his cigarette ashes in the sink. And so I would be so frustrated. This is so weird. I would be so frustrated. I'm going to clean it. And so he works really hard, and he had like really muddy hands. Like, you cleaned your hands, but you didn't clean the sink. So it's cigarette ashes, it's muddy water in the sink, and I would be so irritated. But I would clean it. And he actually checked me for cleaning up his stuff. He said, something he said basically to the point of, like, I think I'm better than him because or it's a way he said it. I can't even remember. But I was like, wow, I'm cleaning it up, and you're offended because I cleaned it up. I could not believe it. It was so weird. And a friend of mine named Charlena Gaffney, I think her name is Martinez now, so I'll give you a shout out in case she ever sees this video. But that she said, Erika, it doesn't matter if you have dirt floors, sweep your dirt floors. And you know, it's so funny because out in Aswan, I was at the what's it called, the Nubian village, and a part of the thing that they do have dirt floors, and they sweep their dirt floors so that you could see if there was any snakes or scorpions in the house. Like, so if you woke up and you saw a trail going through the house, you would know if something was tracking in the house. I thought that was amazing. But the idea that she's sweeping this, it also makes me think of that song, Sweep Around Your Front Door. Sweep around your front door. A lot of times we're wanting to work on other people and heal other people and help other people, but what are we processing for ourselves? We have to sweep around our own front door and see where the little funkiness might be creeping in, where the attachments might be creeping in, where those untapped emotions might be creeping in. I was actually told one time, a long time ago, by a therapist that I wasn't experiencing all 5 cylinders of my emotion. Like, imagine your car is a stick shift and you got park, so you're at peace. I should have mapped this out. You know, like your first gear is just, you know, regular being. Maybe your second gear is happiness. Your third gear is experiencing sadness. Your fourth gear might be experiencing love, and your fifth gear might be experiencing anger. But what if you get stuck in fifth gear? What if you get stuck in anger? Or what if you're stuck in love constantly? Like, I love this person, I love that person, and you're constantly giving too much of your heart. What if you're stuck in park and you don't have any emotions? You're not expressing any feelings, and you're stuck in park, you can't drive. What if you're stuck in extreme happiness but not able to evaluate these other emotions, and your car rides a little funny because you're stuck constantly maybe ignoring problems, in a state of ignoring things, and I just want to be happy. It's like this person that can live in complete darkness because they're like, I just want to be happy, I just want to be happy. Like, you actually need all the gears of your emotions so you can live life properly, because sometimes you got to slow down and go down the park, you know, and just rest. Sometimes you got to get in fifth gear and let people know, get out of my face, don't mess with me, you're breaking my boundaries. And sometimes you got to be in, you know, third with some love. You need to be able to express and exchange love. So the gears of your emotions are important, right? But so understanding yourself, evaluating yourself, sweeping around your own front door, checking out to see what's going on. Go underneath the hood and give yourself some time to understand the mechanics of who you are, because I think this whole thing about life is really, how are we experiencing life through our eyes? How do other people experience life through their eyes? And we, you know, as we are fractals of God, we're God expressing himself in different bodies in different ways. And, you know, our demographics affect us, hormones affect us, our sex affects us, food affects us, our lack of rest, our maybe laziness. All these things contribute to the way that we see things, our level of education, our level of experience in life. The more life experience we have, the better able we're maybe sometimes to be able to evaluate the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that we're going through. And so I'm going to pull these 3 real quick because I know that we're getting out of here to go to Abu Simba Temple. And just pull it. So that is Set, the Alchemy of Healing, Tahuti, going into those Akashic records to understand who you are, and the Cobra, Divine Awakening, the Kundalini. I believe we hit something here, which is, let's just go to Aset first. You need some magic and alchemy in your life, and I, am here to grant you this. Call on me upon transformation of your life. As you say your prayers in deep meditation and then see me standing behind you, you with my mighty white wings, granting you your wise wishes. I will always come and assist you when you call on me, as long as your requests are within just and fair law of mine. Now, you can have the desires of your heart, right? Dear one, this is, oh, nope, that's the wrong person. Tahuti. Tahuti is number 43. I am Thoth or Tahuti, also known as Hermes, thrice born, 3 times born. Invoke me to see your Akashic records, for this is where the block is. I assist you to release this karma now by your request. I am the Time Lord, the keeper of your soul records, and I saw you as you were judged in ancient days. Now I hand this role back over to you so you can judge yourself. For humanity must be responsible for themselves with just some small assistance from above and below. So evaluate yourself. You want your heart to be light as a feather, right? Evaluate yourself. And where is your block? Maybe you are constantly bumping your head on these emotions because there's something in the past, there's a lesson from the past life that you're experiencing pain in this life, and you want to remove these karmic blocks, but you have to be able to evaluate, where is this coming from? Why do I keep picking the wrong person? Why do I keep getting cheated? Why do people always treat me this way? Why is my voice always unheard? So where is the block? Why is it that you're stuck? Clean around your front door, sweep it out of the way, get the mud out of your eye. All these things, right, have to do with removing the dirt that's blocking you from seeing what it is that you want to be shining, standing clean and clear, but you can't do it without clearing the way. I am Wajet. So this is the winged cobra. I am Wajet, and I bring you news of a sudden spiritual awakening that may take you by surprise, but bring you great blessings later. Your divine kundalini awaits further action, and I suggest you invest in meditation, energy healing, and spiritual lessons that smooth your awakening. So you're getting on some rocky road, and you gotta get these meditations on so that you can smooth the way, make the drive a little more easy. I could even think of another one. You got a rock in your shoe, it's irritating you, so you got to get the rock out of your shoe. You got to clear the way, get the gunk out, get the dirt out. If your engine is dirty, it doesn't run properly. So how many more examples can I say? Hey, okay, thank you, Sandy Smith. Oh my God, girl, wait till you see this. Oh God, look at the doggy. He is all the way on the roof. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my God, there's more than one of them. They're taking over. Wow. So this is the city. That's the filet over there. Got the boats looking out over Aswan. And I hope you're having a good day. And I will talk to you later.